Mr. Ebrans, you probably remember a couple of weeks ago about a story that was about Bayer buying out Monsanto. Monsanto, in case you didn't know what it was, is the company that controls much of the U.S.'s agricultural products. Now, Monsanto's big thing is seeds, and the seeds that they produce are genetically modified to help the plants grow faster and increase the yield. GMOs, positions on whether GMOs should be used as food products are deeply polarized, and there's three major sides that people like to take. There's the side that says that they're bad, we shouldn't use them as food. There's the side that says there's nothing wrong with them, and then there's the side that's neutral that just wants to know if they're eating them or not. The three main issues with this point are the health risks that could come with eating GMOs, the morality of modifying our foods, and the labeling, whether or not we should label foods as containing GMOs. So the first major point is the health risks. Right now, there's no noticeable effect on human health from eating GMOs. To quote Timothy Griffin, a teacher at Tufts Friedman School, on a study that he recently participated in, we looked at a lot of evidence and found no apparent health risks. This study that he did compared rates of cancer and other diseases like that, such as diabetes, in the U.S. to Western Europe, where they have strict laws against GMOs. They don't like them there, and they found no difference in disease rates. To quote a survey from the Pew Research Center, 9 out of 10 scientists from the American Association for the Advancement of Science say that GMOs are generally safe to eat. Now, the opposite side of this say that GMOs are the major cause of cancer and other things like that. They say that modifying the genes could raise the chance of cancer appearing in some of your cells because you modify the genes. Then the body might get confused, you have a mutation which could turn into cancer. Right now, the results are kind of inconclusive because GMOs are a big scale, but it's not major changes in the genes. So the second part of this would be the morality issues. Some people say it's completely fine to modify our food. We've been doing it for a really long time, just not the way that you would think. It's not all done in labs. Selective breeding is also technically a type of genetic modification, and as we do more selective breeding, we are blurring the lines between genetic modification and just breeding what we want. Faster horses, beefier cows, that kind of stuff. Then there's the opposite side to this that says that it's bad to modify our food. Modifying our food is like tampering with God's plan. Vegans do not eat GMOs because GMOs could contain animal genes, or plants could contain animal genes. Really, it all boils down to who gave humans the right to modify our food. We were put on this planet just like they were, so what gives us the right to change them? The last major part is the labeling. Some people say that it should not be mandatory. It could discourage buyers from buying genetically modified foods if the label has to be there. Genetically modified foods are usually cheaper, but if that label goes through, then people may not want to buy them, even if they don't know what a GMO is. So it could put small farms out of business if the labeling goes through. A family in Vermont may go out of business because they'll lose their organic milk label. To quote Joanna Lidback, who is the wife of that farm, slapping labels on biotech food is an exercise in futility, not giving enough info to consumers about genetic engineering, but devastating the small family farmers like us who try to supply their food. Other people say it should be mandatory. They feel like they should have the choice, and they really should have the choice to decide if they want to eat them or not. There's no major physical differences between genetically modified and non-genetically modified foods, so there's no way to tell in the store. To kind of wrap this all up, positions are really contradictory on whether we should use them as foods. no matter what side you take on the health risks, the morality, or the labeling law, I hope that my research has helped you make a decision and you can come to an educated choice. You need these?
What's up, questions?
Oh, yeah. Oops. Yeah, thank
When
you.
they were doing research on the GMOs, you said that they didn't see any significant signs of cancer forming. But how long was the research? Because cancer can form over many years.
This
if
was
you
all
keep consuming
this
it.
was all recent research, like up to date, and there have been studies in the past years, 2010.
What's like the major, like the number one genetically modified food?
Probably, considering that corn is one of the major products of America, it's probably that. Genetic modification right now is mostly used for pesticide reasons because we don't want to dump a bunch of pesticides on our food. People don't like that either, so they're trying to figure out more natural ways to solve the pest issues.
Is there one certain type of cancer that GMOs can cause?
It kind of boils down to this one phosphate that could possibly cause cancer, but I'm not sure if it boils down to one type of cancer.
You mentioned corn being the most modified food. Isn't that present in like all types of our food? So how do we get away from modified food?
That's kind of the thing. I don't really think there's any way to get out of genetic modification. There are certain small farms that do grow organic corn, but they're probably going to charge a lot more than just corn that you buy from, say, Bird's Eye or something